success.
I choose success.
From now onward.
From now onward.
No matter what.
No matter what.
I believe in myself.
I believe in myself.
Because I'm God's greatest creation.
Because I'm God's greatest creation.
I have unlimited potential.
I have unlimited potential.
And I know. The future. I want. Depends on me. And therefore. Up to me.
It's up to me.
Make it happen. Excellence. And integrity. And hard work. I will get there. You use it, it doesn't work. So here is why. Not why, but one of the reasons. Number one, I've said there are many ingredients to making things happen. So they may give you some ingredients and not the whole package. But the most critical is this, in terms of analogy. If someone, one day their car was stuck, and let's say the reason why that car was stuck was the spark plugs. Spark plugs is one of the things which, I'm not a technician, but it's part of the car mechanism. So assuming that what has stopped the car from functioning properly are the spark plugs, so it means if they buy new spark plugs, the car will run very fast. Are we together? So then you ask that guy, say, so when the car is stuck or is not functioning, what do you do? Or what did you do? Oh, I bought new spark plugs and the car moved. But now for you, your spark plugs are fine. And maybe for you are not only missing the spark plugs, but possibly the engine oil is also not there. So even if you put in the spark plugs, will the car perform at its best? Will it perform? No. Because for you, what you need is more than the spark plugs. So the spark plugs are important, but so is the engine oil. So that's the other gap that I see. Sometimes we speak from our own context, what has worked for us, but it is not a must that it will work for you. But what you can do is to borrow principles and insights, because there's what we call global principles, universal laws. For example, I will tell you that being honest is a universal law. If you're honest, that's a principle. It's going to help you in your life, no matter what. Keeping time, which unfortunately we've not done here, is a global principle. It will help you to succeed faster. Are we together? Yeah. So there's those what we call fundamental principles. Such if you offer great customer service, your chances for success in business will be very low. So rather than great service, offering a great product, being honest, keeping your word, when you tell people I'll do something, you do it, thinking innovatively, that will help you to succeed, grow. Is that helpful? Okay, great. Is that helpful for the rest of us? Yes. Okay, good. This guy is up to his or her own agenda, not my best interests at heart. So that's typical. I would say this. I will start with a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. Well, it may not be very related. Let me not go there. But this is what I would say. The person has a right to pursue their interests, so long as they are legal, moral, and ethical, to pursue their own agenda. Of course, I'm not saying they have a right to kill you, for example, to lie to you, but I'm talking about they have their own agenda. They have a right, but please mark this word. You have a responsibility to say yes or no. Are we together? Yeah. So let's stop this blame game. Oh, these people are just after their own interests. Well, but you also sometimes go somewhere and you are after your own agenda. True or false? Yeah. So now, of course, there are people who are pursuing an agenda and they want to utilize you for their own interests, and those interests may be for somehow to add value, but there are some who will engage you or use you to pursue interests that are very hurtful, not only to you but to people out there. But what does this mean for you as a young person, as a youthful person? Part of the challenge I see two things. Number one, you not being clear about your own agenda. What do you want? Because I didn't know that there are people behind me, okay? So you need to ask yourself, for me, what do I want? For example, you go and you find an entity, you want to start a business, let's say in coffee or a retail business, whatever it is. Ask yourself, is this person or entity going to help me in that realm? If the answer is yes, hang in there. If the answer is no, move on. So it starts with some people say, for me, I'm just looking for something to do. So if it is something to do, then everyone who comes with something, you are a potential customer. You're a potential youth to be used, utilized, and either engaged. Are you following? And if it is anything, then anything might pull you in. But if you're very clear for them to be better, to be more successful, that's why I came. I have a busy schedule, so this, I know it's in line with what my calling and passion is. So that's why you will not see me in some occasions. Is it advocating for what? No, I am not into advocacy. I'm into pushing for the agenda of lifting humanity. So that's one. But then two, when you go for these, because you've said, what if you notice the circumstances do not allow you? So someone does not have to be 100% in alignment with your agenda for you to be with them. You might find that, let's say they are 20% in alignment with your agenda and the other 80% is not necessarily so. For example, I'm not necessarily into, for now, I'm not giving you ideas and training, so I come. Are we together? Yes. Are you following? So there is that other portion, so I will come. So therefore, you focus on that other 20% that is in alignment with your agenda, and then you stay there. So long as also have to add, your values are in alignment, because you must have your own values. But then when you're there, when you go for a certain event or engagement or an opportunity, please ask yourself, what do I want to get out of this? For example, if I were you, one of my goals for being here would be to have as many contacts as possible, such that at one time, if you want to start a business in Gulu, there's someone in Gulu. If you want to start a business in Lira, there's something in Lira. But the challenge I see among us as youth also is, you come to an event like this, if you're from Gulu, you stay with people from Gulu. Then people from West Nile, you're there. And then before long, you're just there, just cham cham, you not even learn some Luganda words. That's a fact. Yeah. So, big mistake. So if you're from Kampala, don't just hang around with people from Kampala. Hang out with people outside your zone. That could be your agenda. So when Nelson, when Inspire Africa calls you here, they have their own agenda. True or false? True or false? True. So therefore, you yourself, you should come with your own agenda. What's my agenda? Well, to learn. It could be to establish contacts. 3, it could be to even sell something. How many of us carried our things that we sell? You carried them here. Products we sell out there, but we didn't carry them here. By show of hands. You have other products you sell, but you didn't carry them to this boot camp. By show of hands. Put up your hand. Be honest. So look around the room. So that's what I'm talking about. So part of your agenda as an entrepreneur is you always sell. I carried my materials. So someone may have their own agenda. For example, they are telling, they want you to vote for them, and you want to vote for them, for example, if you want to. And you may not be a politician, but you could help them with something, whether it's research or what. But you've spotted that there are business people around that fellow. So you go help them with designing or research or whatever it is. And of course, let's assume you will support them. Are they utilizing you? I don't like using the word using. You see, no one can use you and abuse you without your permission. You would have given them permission. Are you following? Yes. You gave them that, unless they put you on a gunpoint, you gave them that chance to abuse you. If you notice they're abusing you, move on. But if you stay there, then don't complain, these people, by the way, they're abusing me. Hello, the last 9 months they have been abusing me. So what I may utilize you, I prefer the word utilize you. They may utilize your skills in their political agenda, for example, but you are running a business and you notice they have business people around them. So you do your research, and then when you're with them, you get their contacts. After the political campaign, you call this, hey, my name is so-and-so. By the way, you remember I was so-and-so's research assistant, but I have this proposal. Can I supply this thing to your hotel? Oh, can I? So in other words, they are utilizing you for their own agenda, but you're also utilizing that opportunity for your own agenda. Does that make sense, sir? Does that make sense to the rest of us? Yes. Yeah, so be alert on your toes. I was listening to this guy, this is what he said. He said that in the earlier times, this is what they would do to initiate warriors. So they would, what do you think is the number one fear for warriors? Getting injured. What is worse than being injured? Death, the grave in quotes, in the course of the night. So if they come in the morning and you're still there, then they believe you have overcome the fear of death. So now you've been initiated into the club of warriors. So when I heard that, I was like, so the guy was saying you have to do the thing that you fear, then the death of fear disappears. So that evening, I was like, for me, my number one fear was talking to ladies, by the way. Not speaking to crowds, but ladies. Why is a story for another day. Let me just give you a hint. When I was 15, I attempted to con a 15-year-old girl. I was possibly about in the same age bracket, and they gave me a boot. And from then on, I started telling myself that ladies don't like me. So I feared ladies for years. And even at the university, for all the 3 years, I would look at a beautiful lady and pretend like I don't want. But kumbe inside I would be dying. And because I would imagine that if I talk to a beautiful lady, they would say no. But here is another thing which is also related to confidence and self-esteem. Was what I was telling myself, was it truth or fiction? Was it the truth or fiction? Fiction. So be careful of the stories you tell yourself. Part of confidence and it's the story you tell yourself. So you have to tell yourself positive stories. I can make it. I can do this. No, this so-and-so did it, therefore I can do it. But if you tell yourself another story, oh, my uncle failed, therefore I know how to fail. Oh, 2 years ago I failed, therefore I'll fail. Like that story, then you're in trouble. So anyhow, back to the New York story. So I get to this, so I told myself, okay, my number one fear is talking to ladies, so let me face that fear. So I see a beautiful lady coming to me at the train station. I walk and I'm like, Ethan, do the thing that you fear, and the death of fear shall be certain. So the lady is coming closer, do the thing. But the closer she got, the harder my heart pump. Boom, 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 boom. Then when we crossed each other, I said, hi. She's like, hi. I'm like, have a nice day. Because I didn't know what to do next. But at least in that moment, I was like, my saying hi did not kill me. She smiled back. So now I've gained some little confidence of saying, I can say hi to a beautiful lady and she didn't kill me. So next time say hi, and I'm like, hi, where are you from? Oh, so. Have a nice day. Now it's 2 statements. Now later 3 statements. Now oh, can I have your number? Oh, can we go for a cup of tea after 10 minutes? So I took it step by step up to a point where by now I have a wife at home and children. So, Kongs, thank you. Yeah, thank you for your kind words, man. So, anyhow, the thing is you take things step by step to gain confidence. Don't go wholesale. Same thing with business. If you have 1 million, don't put the whole 1 million into one business. Start small. Put 100 if it works, then add more. If it doesn't, now you still have other resources. Statements. That politics and business doesn't, because that's what you are saying, that politics and business do not mix. Well, it also depends on the environment and who you are and the like. We know of some politicians who have succeeded in business, just like we know some, we also know the other way around. There are people who have gotten into politics and their business has increased. I have a friend who had a successful business. They went into politics, it shrunk. So it depends on the context. So I would say figure out what your context requires and choose what you want to focus on. Do you want to focus on business or politics? But there are people who have found a balance. How I've not participated in that space to say I have an actual case study in my personal life, but there are people who have succeeded and there are people who have failed. So I wouldn't take it as a rule of thumb. It depends on the person and the context. Then the lifestyle, I like the lifestyle and riches part. I believe the rule of thumb that we can pick from that space is, the rule of thumb to create wealth is make sure that your expenses are smaller than your income. So you do not overextend how much you're earning in order to boost your wealth. So for me, that's a good mindset to have and to think about. Intellectuals, now principles of successful ambition. That's a good one. I've never had someone ask that. You ask what are the principles of a successful, I should say, good ambition. So number one, it should be big. One of the mistakes I made is I limited my ambition, especially in business. I targeted Uganda, the East African region. If my ambition had been global, then now it is global. If from the word go I had aimed to go global, then I would be bigger. So for me, it should be much bigger than an average one. Two, it should be an ambition that adds value to society. Because for me, when you run a business, and in a way it is adding value to society, then it is fulfilling. That alone, I believe God blesses it more. That's my personal view. So, and then finally, it should be an ambition that on your deathbed, you'll be proud that I pursued this and did this. Because at the end of the day, we are accountable to the time we spent here on planet Earth. And so that's what I would say. So, and I need to start from there. It's a great question. So you're asking, how do we keep this motivational engagement? You're feeling excited, but then you go there and then you go back. So for me, number one, just to make a quick correction, be careful of the language you use, because you're saying by tomorrow will be at zero. So that prophecy, by itself, if you take on that thought, then you will manifest it in real life. So I wouldn't say you go to zero, okay? Okay, so it might go down, but not necessarily zero. So that is a powerful question, and there are reasons for that, big reasons for that. Of recent, I would encourage you to research something around neuroscience. But not only I would like you to research about two things. I won't have the time to go in depth, but I'll give you hints at you, because you're all intelligent enough to research these subjects. So number one is neuroscience. The other two is about identity. That's where the answer is. So according to neuroscience, if you do not create neural pathways, I will use the big words and then that science uses, then I will simplify them. If the brain has not created neural pathways, then you will not sustain that idea you've had. Now, what is a neural pathway? A neural pathway, think about it. You see this, at one time this place was a bush. If you look behind you, there is a path. Have you noticed that? Yeah. But before it was just a bush. But people kept walking through it, and then over time, a path was created. Are we together? Yeah. So when you keep doing a certain action over and over and over again, unfortunately, the person who asked is on the phone. So if you keep taking an action over and over again, in the brain, there's what they call neurons. So now that the law in neuroscience says that neurons that fire together wire together. So meaning when you take an action, there are certain neurons in your brain. How should I call it? What should I call neurons? Neurons, let's call them like networks. Okay, or like wires. So they connect together over time when you work on them. And then if you keep doing that activity over and over again, then a pathway, just the same way you're seeing that path amidst the grass, is created. Meaning, now a habit, a way of doing and being has been created. So what does it mean in terms of knowing and action? So it's not enough to know, you have to do. But to do that thing, there are certain steps you need to do. Number one is you need to start imagining yourself doing that thing over and over again, because according to research, just imagining something vividly and people doing that thing creates the same neural pathways where you're rehearsing your success in the future. So they got two groups of people. One group, they spent 2 weeks practicing the piano for 2 hours a day. Over 2 weeks, assuming this is the group, and then the other half, they would spend 2 hours closing their eyes, visualizing, seeing themselves doing piano, playing piano. They felt it, they did it. And after the 2 weeks, they tested their brains and they had opened up the same neural pathways in their brain. What does that mean? So visualization and feeling what you're supposed to be doing and feeling and as if it has already happened, then your brain is rehearsing that activity. So when that activity comes, it starts happening. That's one. But then two, you have then to follow up and say, okay, what is the actual activity I can do to implement this thing I'm learning? Because if you do not think about an activity and an action, then that knowledge will be lost. We know that if you do not implement something within 24 hours, if you do not take an action to implement what you've learned in the next 24 hours, you lose over 70% of what you learned. When you implement something immediately, then you acquire the knowledge. But
now that's what you know. It doesn't matter what you hear, you feel pumped up, but your identity is like a software. So if the software you have on your laptop has a virus, it doesn't matter how much power you put, and you put beautiful lights in the room, and you clean the table, and you put your laptop there. If you see the fact that the virus is there, in this case, a negative programming of beliefs, what you believe about yourself and how you see yourself, it doesn't matter. That laptop is not going to function at its best. Am I communicating?
Yes.
So if there is a virus, so what is a virus? A virus are negative beliefs like, I cannot make it, I'm not worthy, I am poor, I live in a poor country, I am short, I don't have a master's, if I'm not from the right tribe, I want to make it. If I don't have capital, actual money, I want to. So all those are viruses. Unless you clean up those viruses, it doesn't matter how I pump you up, that pump will go off. So what does that mean? You need to change your beliefs, you need to change your actions, and you need to change your habits. Habits is what you do over and over again. If you do something over and over again, you create new neural pathways and the results will show. For example, if you call, say, 100 people, if there are 30 or 50 people every single day, surely in a month you'll close a deal. But if you're calling 10 people today, tomorrow you call 2, then it won't happen. So it's not just about the motivational speakers. Just like if I find a laptop there and I clean it, it will look good. That's progress by itself. But if the software program, or if there are viruses on that laptop, then you, the owner of the laptop, you need to clean up the viruses first. It's not the guy who did the cleaning that is the problem. Oh, but the laptop looked nice. How come it's not performing better? No. Fix the viruses. Fix the software. And sometimes the software is not upgraded. You know, there are programs which require a certain, they will tell you, okay, if you don't have Windows 10, this software won't work. Are we together? Now, I may give you an idea that requires Windows 10, but you're still on Windows 8. So if I give you an idea, but you work at applying it or using it, using Windows 8 and doesn't work, it's not that the idea was bad. It's not that the motivational speaker was bad. No, you need to upgrade your software, to upgrade your thinking. Two things. So he's saying, you know, the realities are telling you, or the facts are telling you, you are in Adenko, the budget can manage Adenko, the lifestyle is Adenko, and most likely the whole family will be Adenko. But you want to live in Kampala,
Yes.
but you don't have the budget for Kampala, you don't have anyone in Kampala. What do you do? So number one, I hinted earlier that your past does not equal your future. But, I mean, you're there, so what do you do? So assuming this is a Denko. So when you're in that Denko, assuming this is a Denko because, you know, there is no, you know, there's no bricks, no tiles.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you're in that Denko? Ask yourself basic questions. One, how can I maximize my time while in this circumstance? 2, what resources do I have? Because rather than giving a straight answer, I would rather teach you how to think. Because once I teach you how to think, then depending on your circumstance, you can apply those questions. Is that helpful?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. So if I was in a decor, I would ask you, so number 1, what do I have within me? For me, the most important resource you have is your brain, your health, and your capacity to think. 2, what resources do I have around me? It could be land, it could be networks, it could be something as simple as renting land, it could be something as simple as teaching someone's child. Let me give you something very basic. How many of us think we can teach? We can teach kids in primary or secondary. Okay, good. Now, how many of us know of parents who have kids who are struggling with school, but they also have unutilized land? They have land which is unutilized. Anyone? You put up your hands straight. See, those are the hands. So the opportunity there is you can use your teaching skills to say, I go to Mr. Adengupon and say, Chief, I'm willing to teach your child during holidays for free rather than paying me 100,000 per month. I'll teach them for free in the evening, 2 hours. And then in return, can you allow me to use your 3 acres of land to dig, whatever it is, to plant stuff? So what I've done there is I've used the resources in me to get the resources that are out there that I didn't have actual cash. So, what does that mean? You need to start from a place of resourcefulness. I like how Tony Robbins said, it's not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness. Because what I'm hearing is you're saying we have limited resources, which is true. But your resourcefulness is unlimited. So you need to ask yourself, what can I do to utilize the resourceful? Resourcefulness is about creativity. It's about creating something from thin air. So that's an example. So you're maximizing your time there. But you're maximizing your time there for a goal in the future. So you know, hey, for now I have access to 10,000 shillings. You had the story of the 5,000 shillings guy, you remember?
Yeah.
But now he's worth hundreds of millions. What changed the mind? The resourcefulness. So you are in the circumstances there, but you've not lost focus of the future there. So now you're working, setting a goal to go there. But where you're going, you know, you need 100 or 10 million as an example. So you are then go physically, but mentally, spiritually, thoughtfully, you are where?
Kampala.
In Kampala.
Yeah.
So you start walking like a Kampala person. You start thinking like a Kampala person. You start speaking Kampala language. You don't just keep on speaking Adenko language. You look for people who, when they come from Kampala, you meet the people in Kampala and say, how does Kampala look like? Describe it for me. And live there, think about it, feel it, smell it. Start celebrating as though it has already happened. You're creating neural pathways of Kampala, not Adenguko. And then over time, because your thoughts are like a prayer, you start attracting circumstances and opportunities that you never thought possible. So number 1, you're changing your mind, you're changing your thought process, but you're also doing something about it. You're not just praying. I was telling another group that you don't have to just pray, you have to pray walk. I believe in prayer walking. You're praying, but you're also doing something about it. You're using what is inside you to create what is outside of you. That do not, average people complain about circumstances. Successful people create the circumstances that they want to see. Even in a Denko, you can create a wonderful experience as if it's Kampala. So over time, the key thing though, finally, is once you start that journey, stay consistent. Because sometimes you work on something and then say, that thing that they told us, I've worked on it, has not worked. By the way, there is the part B answer, and then you also. Sometimes we lack the patience. You start on something and you don't see results immediately. You're like, that thing doesn't work. How long have you been working on it? The last 6 months, this thing has not produced the results. Hey, man. Oh, I started this motivational speaking thing, I'm not able to earn from it the way I had thought it does, the way Ethan does. Yeah, but man, I started declaring myself as a motivational speaker in 1998. Are you following?
Yes.
So this is a product of 21 years since today is 2019. So, to expect that you will create what I've created within, I mean, miracles happen, but it may not happen within 6 months for you to create what I've done. Is it possible? Absolutely. But is it common? No. Are you following? So once you start the journey, you have to stay consistent. So once you've locked onto a direction, then you keep going. You fall, but get up. Look, where am I going? You go. But the problem is, you fall, you cry. Then someone says, but you could come and do cassava. Then you go to cassava. Yeah, that's the law of diversion. The moment you divert, coming back is going to take you a long, long time. So you go, you fall, you come back onto the line. And then over time, this is the final. Over time, if you stay consistent and you're on the right path, it's just a matter of time. It may not happen now, you may not have control over that, but if you keep taking one step at a time, ladies and gentlemen, one step at a time, you fall, focus on getting back up. You take another step. You fall, get back up. Take another step, but get back up. The thing is not about you falling. The problem is you staying there or getting diverted. I can guarantee you, even if you are in a lot of tongue, even if you don't have the money, you can even walk. And finally, you find yourself in Kampala one day. Just walk. You sleep somewhere, you convince someone, you say, can I clean this place for you? Can you give me food and where I can sleep for a week? Get more energy, get back on track, walk. You get to Kampala. The problem is sometimes you get distracted or we get discouraged. But if you stay on the same, the thing is, are you on the right path? And then do not give up. You will finally get there, regardless of what that brings.
Thank you. Right.